Hi, Kenzie. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing fine. How are you today?
Good. So today you're here coming in for your fifth session, and you want to just talk about a few things that have been bothering you. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, what would you like to talk about today?
Well, I'm here to talk about my drinking problem that I've been having for the last few years.
Okay, perfect. So at first, I just want to let you know that this session is being videotaped. So, as a student, I cannot offer any form of legal confidentiality. My work is being reviewed by my professor. But at any time, do you feel that you do need to, you feel that it's not comfortable, or you feel that this video is not going right in any way, let me know and I can stop the video at any time or
Okay.
delete the tape.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get started, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more about this um, alcohol problem that you've been having.
So I have been drinking recreationally since I was a teenager, all through high school.
Okay.
And more recently, I would say maybe in the last couple of years, last 2 or 3 years, I've been told by a lot of people in my life that it's become more than recreational.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been having some trouble with family life
Mm-hmm.
and different things. It's just caused a lot of trouble in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been told that I should seek some help about it. And I'm honestly sick of hearing people tell me to get help. So I decided I
Right.
would come in and just see what all the hoopla was about.
Okay. So basically, you have been having problems and you've been dealing with this alcohol drinking issue for quite some time, and you're trying to seek help because you're trying to improve your life. And you also mentioned that you're feeling um, discomfort and feeling tired that listening to all this from other people, and you're feeling it's impacting on your life of your finance, your family, and your work. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So with this drinking issue, what have you done so far to make changes? Have you make any changes?
Well, I would say that coming here in the first place was probably a big step for me.
Mhm.
I've been told for a long time that I should be doing this, and I haven't really made that step. So coming here in the first place was the first step for me. I haven't made too many drastic changes, but I've been actively trying to drink less.
Mhm.
I don't love the way that it makes me feel when I don't drink as much. So I still have been actively participating in drinking on most nights, but I have been actively trying to drink less. So I would say that normally I was drinking a 24 pack every day to 2 days.
Mhm.
So I have been making that stretch maybe 3 or 4 days. But like I said, it's been giving me a lot of discomfort not being able to have it as often as I was.
Okay. So it's good to hear that you have minimized the drinking and that you have reduced the number of drinking of going from 24 to you said three bottles a day.
Well, I was having a 24 pack every day to 2 days, and now I'm making it stretch to every 3 to 4
Every
days. Yeah.
Okay. And are you feeling that with this transition change, are you feeling that you want to go back to drinking 24 pack a day?
I would want to. The only reason I don't is because, like I said, I'm having some trouble with my family and stuff. They're really nagging me about it, but
Right.
I don't love the way that I feel. Like I feel crappier when I don't drink.
Okay.
Like I get those symptoms of withdrawal and I just don't feel good.
Okay. So what kind of withdrawals are you feeling?
Um, when I don't drink, I get really agitated, easy, irritable. I get like almost, I wouldn't say tremors, but like
Mhm.
shaking a little bit. and it really increases my anxiety a lot, which is the reason I started drinking more in the first place,
Okay.
because I have really bad social anxiety in social situations. So just calms me down and makes me a lot more comfortable to be myself around other people.
Okay, I understand. And for your aside from seeing me coming here every 2 weeks, have you seeked any support groups, any other counseling for to help your drinking?
Yeah, so I've started attending the AA meetings.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I should be because I haven't stopped drinking altogether, but I feel like it would be the next best step to start seeing what it was all about.
Okay. And do you have a specific date of when you plan to quit?
Not right now. No, I'm just kind of taking it day by day.
Okay, that's fine. That's fair enough. Sometimes it's you don't want to uh take it too fast because if you do, then it might do more harm to you. So it's good to hear that you're taking it day by day. You're still seeking help, attending a meeting, and it's always good to talk it out. So in addition to this drinking that you have, you mentioned that it impacted on your work, finance and family's relationship. So, in terms of the work, how has this impacted on your work?
Well, because I drink on most nights,
Hmm.
I'm typically hungover in the mornings, which makes me late for work. So I've started getting in trouble from
Okay.
my bosses for being late for work a lot of days. I don't typically drink when I'm on the job,
Hmm.
but it has started to affect my work life because when I'm going throughout the day and there for 8 hours, I can't drink while I'm there. So I get more and more anxious
Hmm.
and I get more irritable throughout the day because I don't have the ability to drink while I'm at work. But mostly I'm late for work most days. My bosses are starting to notice and they're starting to ask me why I'm late all the time.
Okay. And have you been able to, when you go to work, because you have the urgency to drink, have you replaced any drinks with it? For example, like have you tried to drink water? Have you tried to drink any other drinks to, like to help you not think of drinking alcohol?
I've picked up smoking actually.
Okay.
So the smoking, it supplements the drinking so that I have something that I can go and do when I feel the urge to drink.
Oh, okay. And how long have you been at this workplace for?
So I've been at this workplace for the last 10 years.
10 years?
Yes.
And when has the um drinking last, like when, like for the last 10 years of when you were working there, has it always been you were drinking?
Um, I would say it's been more heavily over the last few years. Like I said, I've always drank
Yeah.
recreationally, but the drinking with making me late for work has been more in the more recent years. So I'd say probably the last 2 to 3 years, it's been more of a problem.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you mentioned that you mentioned that you're getting in trouble because you're late for work. And so like have you tried to make any small changes to not be late for work and to, like because you mentioned you want to keep working at this job.
Yes.
So have you made any small changes?
Um, Well, the only real thing that I'm doing now is I used to get so blackout drunk at night that I wouldn't even remember to set an alarm in the morning to get ready for work. So ever since I've been doing what I told you and
Yep.
making it stretch a few more days longer, I'm not drinking as much. So I'm remembering to set my alarm to wake
Okay.
up in the mornings.
Mhm.
Sometimes if I'm really hungover, I still sleep through it, but I've been trying to make that change at least.
Oh, okay, that's good. And now has your boss like approached you and gave you any verbal warnings or written warnings?
Yeah, I got a written warning about 2 weeks ago saying that I needed to start being on time for work or that there was going to be consequences and that maybe termination.
Oh, okay. So it's good to hear that you're taking initiative to make that change. So continue what you're doing and set your alarms, so that way you don't become late for work. And maybe I know it's hard, but maybe like during the when you have to work the next day, maybe the night before, don't drink as much. I know it's hard to stop completely, but maybe try to drink like one as a social drink. Can we try that?
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Okay. And as for the finances, you mentioned it also in fact impacted on your like financial issues. So like how has drinking impacted that as well?
Well, it's impacted. I would say that's the biggest impact that the drinking has had on my life is the finances. As you're aware, alcohol is very expensive, and
Mm-hmm.
I used to drink hard liquor, but now I'm down to beer just because it's a little bit cheaper to purchase. But it's really dwindling on our savings account, and now we're having a hard time affording our rent because we're spending so much money on alcohol, and it's really starting to impact our ability to afford to live and to afford food and all of these different things, which is again part of the reason I came today.
Okay. How much would you say you spend in a month for alcohol?
Oh, in a month, I'm not sure. I would say at least a couple $1,000
Oh
a month.
wow.
Say
Okay.
about 1,000.
Okay. So, have you have you thought about maybe putting aside only like say like $20 or 20 to $30 like an amount each month just for the alcohol so that you can have savings for other stuff as you need it because I feel that the necessity for food and rent is much more needed than for the drinking. So have you tried that?
No, normally the first thing I do when I get my paycheck is I go and I get some alcohol, so
Okay.
I haven't thought about putting money aside at all.
Okay. Um, and did you have the urge to approach anyone to ask for money?
Yeah, I've asked my parents for money a few times, and those are two of the people that have been really nagging me about changing my drinking habits because I do tend to ask for money for alcohol from them regularly. So
Okay.
they've started to put their foot down and say that they're not going to be supplementing the habit anymore.
Okay. And how much would they give you like for the
Uh,
alcohol?
Not much. I'd say like $100 a month or so.
Um, okay. So maybe for the finances, let's try to do that. Let's try to maybe put some money aside just for the alcohol and maybe try writing it down. So like each month, just writing down how much you spend on alcohol so you can look back on it. And then I know it's not an easy step, as you mentioned, because your first paycheck once you get paid. And sorry if I don't mind asking, how much do you get paid a month?
I make about 2,400 a month.
2,400.
Yeah.
Okay. So out of that 2,400, maybe take out like 100 just for the month. So that like you can still get your social drinks as needed, but you can spend the rest on or the savings on the food, the rent. And let's just do it step by step and see how that goes.
Yeah, I
Okay.
definitely prefer the step-by-step method.
Yep,
I just feel like stopping altogether isn't going to work for me.
absolutely, for sure. And this is where we take a step by step, like give ourselves a date that we can achieve. And we just need to take a step by step.
Okay.
Yeah. And how has this impacted on your family?
It's impacted my relationship with my husband as well as my parents. And as we've already talked about, with my colleagues and other people at work, but mostly my family, my husband and my parents. I am nagged regularly about how much I'm drinking, and my husband also says that I'm not as nice when I'm drinking. So that causes problems with us for the next day when I'm sober again because I don't remember things that I've said and done.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really impacting my familiar relationships, and I don't like getting nagged all the time about having to stop.
Mm-hmm. So like what kind of things would they say when they nag?
They say that I drink way too much, that I don't have an ability to moderate alcohol like most people.
Mhm,
And they said that I turn really mean and I say nasty things when I'm drunk.
mhm,
And they say that it's almost impossible to be around me when I'm drinking.
I see. And how long would you say this has impacted throughout your drinking life?
Well, it wasn't such a big problem with my family when I was drinking more recreationally, like just on the weekends or at parties and stuff. But the more the drinking started becoming more frequent, the more I started hearing these types of things from my parents,
Okay.
especially. So it's been probably for the past couple of years that I've been hearing a lot of this.
hmm have you tried make any changes to with the minimizing the drinking so that way you can have more time to spend with your family?
I've been trying to not drink as much during family dinners and stuff so that I'm present and sober. And I've been trying really hard to just minimize the drinking altogether. Like I said, it just doesn't make me feel good. So I definitely always end up coming back to it, which is why I'm here to try and get some help to stop that cycle.
Okay. Um, and going back to your work, have you tried going to any support centers to like help you um like uh is there something let me rephrase, is there something bothering you at work, or is something making you not wanting to go to work, or is it just because you're just drinking?
I mean, like, I like my job because I've been there a long time and it's a pretty relaxed place to work. But the thing is that it's becoming to the point where it's not only I'm having a hard time at work, but it's becoming dangerous. So my boss and stuff has said that it might be possible for them to hook me up with some kind of rehab or something. I just don't know if I'm ready for that or not.
Okay. And how long did they say the rehab will be for?
They said it would only be for 30 days.
Okay. And are they willing to pay for it?
Yeah, they said they would supplement part of the cost. I would just have to worry about my food and stuff while I was in there.
Okay. Good to hear. And then for your finances, like did you feel the urge that you needed to go to like a bank to seek for more financial uh help?
I haven't taken out a loan or anything like that, mostly because I don't think they would give me one, but I just, I would like to think about doing the rehab thing, but that's something that I don't know if I could even afford just the food because I've spent so much money on the drink.
Okay, right, I understand. So, from what I'm hearing is you're trying to improve, make things better, that it will impact less on your work, your finance, and your relationship. So with the finance, you're trying to spend less on.
Yeah, I'm trying to spend less money on drinking,
Okay.
and I think that it would be a really good idea to maybe set some money aside at the beginning of the month so that it's there and I'm not going to my parents and stuff
Mm-hmm.
and trying to get more money from people and stuff. But I think that coming here has definitely helped,
Yep.
and it's definitely making me make small changes in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not sure if I'm ready to do the rehab or not yet.
Oh, and as we mentioned again, mentioned before, taking small steps is good. Just like whatever makes you feel comfortable. Taking small steps. If you need to, do one thing at a time, to help you get better, just continue with it. And you mentioned with your work, because of your drinking problems, you've been going to work too late, and in the past 2 weeks, you just got a written written warning saying if you still continue with this, there will be consequences. So, um, if, as you mentioned, you're trying to set an alarm so that you won't become late for work. Is that correct?
Yeah, I just wish there was other things I could do that didn't involve the stopping the drinking at nighttime.
Mm-hmm. So in the nighttime, like, have you thought about joining social communities or like activities to make your distraction go away from like aside from the drinking?
Oh, you mean like find something else to do instead of just drinking at night?
Yes, so find something else to do instead of staying at home. So joining activities, because the area that you live in, there's so many activities around you. So have you thought about that?
I haven't thought about that, to be honest. I don't know if I would enjoy doing something where I couldn't drink, but it might be worth a try if it would get me out of the habit of just sitting at home and drinking at night.
For sure, yeah. So we can try that. Join some activities and see how that is. Some of these activities they don't have to go for every day, so you can do it like twice a week, once a week, up whatever you feel comfortable with yourself. And then maybe give try to give yourself a date to like try to join by next month, let's say, and then see, and then give it trial and error and see how it is.
Yeah, I think having something else to do to focus on might help, and it might make me interested in other things because right now
Mhm.
I don't do much else other than stay home and go out with my friends and stuff. So
Yeah,
it might be better if we had something else that I could focus on.
absolutely. And for your family relationship, you mentioned that it has impacted relationship with you and your husband, your parents. Like you've been not able to join family gatherings because you feel the urge to drink, and you feel that you've heard negative stuff from them saying to you, "Why are you drinking so much?" Like they feel that you're mean when you're drunk. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I wish there was something I could say to appease them a bit, but it just keeps getting worse. They do keep talking about it all the time.
I see. So maybe with the family relationship, we can try to get a family counselor in to see you, or I can refer you to see a family counselor to help you and give you more advice.
Okay.
So what are the goals that you are trying to achieve from this?
Well, I'm at the point where I do know that this is a problem, and I would like to actively make steps to help with that problem.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if I'll want to stop drinking altogether, but I definitely want to get to the point where it's not affecting everything in my life.
Right.
So I think the number one goal would be to limit drinking to social gatherings instead of a daily thing, would be my biggest goal.
Okay. And is there a specific date or like a time that you want to achieve that by?
I haven't really thought about it, but I guess it might be helpful to have a date or a goal to work towards.
Okay. And what other goals have you want to achieve?
I definitely want to stop spending as much money on alcohol. We would really like to move and we need a bit more money to do that. So I feel like if I wasn't spending so much money on alcohol, we might be able to do that. So I think my second goal would be to limit out spending on alcohol.
Okay. So when you mentioned you like to move, are you currently living with your parents?
Yes.
Okay. And when is the goal or date you want to move out by?
I would say probably by the end of next year we want to have our own place. So
Okay. And have you looked into uh, places to move
um
into?
yeah, we have been looking online. A lot of them are out of our price range, but I feel like if I stop spending as much, we might be
Mhm.
able to afford something like that. So,
Okay. And how much are the rents that you'd be looking into?
it's about 18 and 1900 a month.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So those are the two goals
yeah, I think
that you want to.
yeah, my two biggest goals would be to limit the drinking to social functions and the limit the financial spending and financial burden that alcohol brings.
Okay. And for the moving out part, you said you want to try to move out by next end of next year.
Yeah, I think it'll be better for everybody if we have our own space. That way, with the conflict, it won't be such a problem anymore. So I think it would be best if we got our own space.
Okay. How do you feel about moving out?
Um, I think I'm looking forward to it. I don't like living with my parents as much. It's not enough space for the amount of people that live here. So I am looking forward to it. I do worry a little bit about the week to week and,
Hmm.
affording things, but we definitely want our own space.
Well, I definitely will uh, encourage you to drink less, save money, put aside money, still go to attend to work as much as you can, because I still want you to still working, and set alarms for every day. If you're working Monday to Friday, for example, set alarms so that way you won't become late for work.
Yeah, maybe that's what I should do. Set the alarms before I start drinking.
Yeah, before maybe, because maybe that way after you're drinking, you're not as alert and you're not as sober. So before you drink, if you decide to drink, set the alarm so that way it can go off the next morning, and then maybe set it up to the highest level volume so that you can hear.
Okay.
Okay?
And I think the activities was a good idea too. Maybe try something else that's not just sitting at home.
Yep. So, join activities. There's communities nearby you that you can join. I can look into it and for you and some activities that you can go and see. Give it a try to see if you like it. And you might enjoy the activities there. Okay.
Okay.
So, with this session, we will meet again in the next month. And after within the next month, we will revisit again and see where you're at. And then from there, we will see if you have achieved your goals already, and if you have not yet, what are the challenges and obstacles stopping you from achieving those goals? And we will see if your drinking issues have lessened, and then if your work has got better, your relationship with your family has improved, and if you're still financially not stabilized because of the drinking. Okay.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I do think it's important to make the changes. It's just really hard. I think with any kind of change, it can be really difficult to get out of behavior and habit.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And as I mentioned before, you prefer to take a step by step. So take a step by step. Don't rush yourself, because the more you rush yourself, you will become more anxious, and it will affect your anxiety. And when you feel more anxiety, you
More
feel
drinking.
more drinking. Okay, so let's aim for that, and we will meet again next month.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Kenzie, for your time, and I hope you have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.